Welcome back, dear viewers. You're still watching Nile Cruise on Nile TV, and dear viewers from Manial Palace, a very special place here in Egypt. We're bringing you a very special guest, which is Hadeel Adel, and she is a curator here at Al Manial Palace. And the Manial Palace and Museum, as we previously mentioned, is a former Ottoman dynasty era palace in grounds on the Rhoda Island on the Nile. It is located in the Shara al-Saraya area in the Al-Manial district of southern Cairo in Egypt. The palace and the estate has been preserved as an Antiquities Council directed historic house museum and estate, reflecting the settings and lifestyle of the late 90s and early 20th century in the Egyptian royal prince and the of course apparent and the residence compound, composed of 5 separate and distinctively styled buildings, is surrounded by Parisian gardens within an extensive English landscape garden estate park along a small branch of the Nile. And to know more about this intro, we have with us, I just mentioned, the curator, which is Hadeel. A very good afternoon, Hadeel, and we have the pleasure to have you with us in our program, Nile Cruise.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Hadeel, let's start with the history of this important place. Give us a background about it.
Okay. Prince owned his place, which was a small, magnificent garden, and he started to build it 1903, and he constructed it till 1937. The rule of building this palace, not to set in it and not to be at the palace for the prince or a home. He started to build his own palace because he wanted to collect all the Islamic decoration in just one place. And he wrote the sentence on the entrance of the palace that he do the design by himself and helped him Ma'allim Muhammad Afifi. He was an engineer, like an engineer, our chief of engineers at the time, so it called him Ma'allim at the time. And they started to paint his own palace because he want, as I told you, to collect all the Islamic designs and Islamic decorations in just one place. And he built the place in buildings. Every building has its own role and name. Firstly, the reception hall, and then the residence hall, and the throne hall, and the golden hall. Every place of them has its role and its name, and the name represents the role of the place. That's about the history.
How and when was this place changed into a museum?
The prince himself write in his will that he wants the place to be a museum. He was a prince crown at the time of the Alawi family, of the Alawi Ottoman rules Egypt. He was a prince crown, and he wanted to build a museum at the time, but it wasn't allowed to do this because of the political things at the time. So he wrote in his will that he wanted to transfer the palace to a museum. 1983, 1984, in that time, the palace registered as a monumental antique in the Ministry of Antiques.
Hadeel, is it his right to write in his will? Does the palace belong to him?
Yes, the palace belongs to him, and he was he was the owner and the founder of the palace.
Okay.
So it's his right to do this.
Okay, Hadeel, there are many famous halls in this historical palace. One of the famous ones is the Hall of Throne.
Yes.
It was said that he was anticipating that one day he will become the king of Egypt, but actually it did not happen.
Doesn't happen.
So
Yeah.
tell us more about the story of this hall.
Okay, Prince Muhammad Ali built Throne Hall because he wanted to tell people who come after that he had the right to be a king, or to be like his brother Abbas Helmi II. He felt that he had this right, so he built it for this. Also, he wore the prince crown, as I told you in the beginning, that he was a prince crown. So he has many things to do in the political things, and prince crown like the ministry or the chief of the ministries at the time. So he has many things to do. So he built this place for official things. When you see the place, it was no colors, decorated by sun disk, just 2 colors, golden and dark red. These colors refers to officially. So he meets the people, the official peoples in this place. But first thing he do it, or the role of building the throne hall, that he want to tell people that he had a right, and he didn't take his right to be a king after his brother Abbas Helmi II. But he decorated it with a thing that maybe it's a trick from the Prince Muhammad Ali. He put his name in a circle beside in a mirror style. You see it from right and from left. Muhammad Ali and Muhammad Ali in Arabic, of course, and decorated from up by the crown. He hasn't the right to put a crown over his name because he wasn't a crown actually. So he said that he put the crown because the name of Muhammad Ali Basha. He tells in his diary that he do this circle because he will do as Muhammad Ali Basha do. As in Arabic we say that he met Muhammad Ali the Grand, as they met together and they do many things for the country. That's what he said. I'll just trick yani, because he want to put a crown over his name.
He wants to take the glory of Muhammad Ali as
yes.
For him.
For him, yes.
Hadeel, tell us more about the recent restorations process that took place in Al Manial Palace.
There is many restoration done in Manial Palace, especially in the Opison. The palace was closed for about 10 years.
Why?
Because of there is a problem happens in the ceilings of the Opison, the second floor of the throne hall. It's a Opison salon. There is a problem in the ceiling. Those palace closed for about 10 years to restore the ceilings, and after this many restoration things doing into the old palace, but it's concentrated on this the ceiling of the Opison. And there is many restoration done in the hunting museum because it's animals and we can't it's too hard to reserve them because of the weather, not because of the palace. It's not good from the palace, but because of the weather.
Prince Muhammad Ali was known that he was fond of hunting, and he likes to hunt and to have new animals added to his collection in his palace. So what other stories about Prince Muhammad Ali that people doesn't know about you can tell us today?
He don't like hunting at more, but he like riding horses. This is the most thing Prince Muhammad Ali like to do is riding horses. And he write 2 books about horses. First book he wrote about himself and how he riding horses, and from what he was started from when he was 7 years old, starting to riding horses. From 15 till 20, he don't do anything except riding horses because he want to be excellent in riding horses. That's the first thing. And he wrote in the other book he talk about how to take care about the horses and everything about horses, the ages of the horses, when the horse is pregnant, how we can take care about in the time of pregnancy, how we can take care about small horses and something like this. So he like riding horses so much more than like hunting. At the collection we have here in the palace, the most of them is for Muhammad Ali the Grand, for King Farouk and for Prince Hussein Kamal. Most of the collection, which was hunted actually by them, it was for King Farouk. But the more collection of Prince Muhammad Ali, he was buying it when he was traveling. And all the people know that Muhammad Ali travels to all places. He travels to China at the time, and he collects many things from China. We have plates and vases decorated by Chinese styles. He like collecting things so much. For this reason, he opened a private museum here in the palace, which was the last place he started to build, because he put it in all the collections which he collects while he was travelers in many places.
Hadeel, the Mosque of Muhammad Ali Palace was also restored some years ago. What distinguishes the architectural style of this palace?
Of the palace or for the mosque, you ask?
On the mosque.
On the mosque. Okay. The mosque is a small
or the
mosque.
palace on the mosque. We need to know.
You need to know about the palace. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Yes, okay, the palace and the mosque.
Okay. The mosque separately, very small mosque, but it's a very, very magnificent mosque because of the ceiling. The very unique style of ceilings. Why? Because it take a shape of small domes, shallow domes, which covered by yellow glass, which allows light to enter in the sunrise. Nowadays we closed it because of the bad weather, but at the time of the prince, when you see the old pictures, you feel that the sun rises inside the mosque at the time of the sunrise because of the small domes. That's a very, very magnificent thing you have ever seen in a mosque all over the world, and even in Ottoman in Turkey nowadays of the style mosque of that time. The other part of the mosque decorated by the sun disk, because the color light can't be in this place, so he covered it by sun disk, style of sun disk. All the palace distinguished because it's a very unique thing, because he collects all the Islamic decorations or the Islamic style. You see in the palace Ottoman style, in Rococo and in Baroque, in the Opison Salon, as example. You can see Syrian style in the Syrian hall, in the reception hall. Moroccan style in the Moroccan, in the also reception hall. You can see Mamluk style in the marble in many places in the palace. And also the ceilings is sorry, not the ceilings, the fian style. It's also the Ottoman style, and the fian style is a special order for the prince. It's done by the prince. He was he used to draw the motiva of the fians and send it to the factory in Turkey, maybe Iznik or Kütahya, and they send him the fian. So it's special order for the prince because all the palace covered by fian style. It's also many unique things in the palace. Many things in the palace and many styles make it a very unique palace of the time.
Okay, he used to hold meetings here with public figures and politicians. Who are the famous people that came to this palace?
Famous people? No, I can't. I don't know what is the famous people, but
famous official people.
In the political.
Okay, maybe the ministers,
arena.
the ministers and the presidents of
Yes.
of their countries come here, but I don't know the name. Yeah, the name of them
It
actually.
was not mentioned in history who are the famous people who met with Prince Muhammad Ali Tawfi in this palace, in the hall of the throne hall.
I don't know the names actually of the peoples, but I know that many ministers and many presidents of the other countries come here in the throne hall and the golden hall, especially because it's used to hold the parties. The most famous thing I know that Sultan Abdul Hamid الثاني, Abdul Hamid الثالث, the Sultan of Ottoman Empire. He was the most famous one who came here in holding some parties in the Golden Hall,
So
not in
there
the
are
throne
famous
hall.
people came here.
Yes, many famous people,
Yeah.
but I don't know the names actually of them.
Yeah.
Okay, Hadeel, I understand that the palace now at this point is under restoration. True?
Until now,
Yes.
no, it's not.
You're
under
done with restoration?
No. All the palace is opening for the people.
So
to
it's
come
ready for the people and for the tourists to come and
Yeah.
visit at any time?
Yes, from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. All the days, 7 days a week.
They
all
pay
the palace
tickets
is
and
open.
they just enter and
Yes,
watch.
just take tickets.
And are there any events that are held in the palace upon requests of the Egyptian citizens?
We do events by the curators. We ourselves do events in the palace for children and for adults and temporary exhibition, something like this.
You don't do weddings?
Weddings done, but not by us. It's from people who come and reserve at the Golden Hall and do weddings.
That was my
And
question. I
yes.
asked you I asked you Egyptians.
Yeah.
Do you
have
give?
to to
Does
have
the
to-
palace offer
Firstly, we have to
services
write.
to Egyptians that ask for this type of Egyptian citizens?
Just in the Golden Hall. And the open area, the place of the garden, it's an open area used for holding parties. They have to take a permission firstly from the Ministry of Antiques, because
So
they
you mean
enter
if I
the
need to
palace.
do a wedding here or any
Yeah.
other event,
On any other event,
I
you
have to take the
permission
permission?
from Ministry
And do
of
we pay money to the Ministry of Antiquities?
Yes, of course, you have
And
to
then
pay
the
money,
place
and then you
is
can
ours. We can use and we can
from
do-
9 a.m. till 12 p.m. You can use the
but there is a time limit. Say at 12 we have to leave,
yes.
even if
Yeah.
we're
If the
even
minister give you a
even if it's
permission to do,
even-
yes, it's
even if it's a wedding, then 12 we have to leave.
it's a wedding or events or anything or conference or anything, you have to do at the time. You have to permit it a time, accurate time, and you have to leave in that time. Because
so
you will
we
take
can
a permission.
it depends on the deal between
Yes,
me
between
and the part
between
and
per-
the other party,
citizen
which is the
and
Ministry of
the ministry.
Antiquities.
Yes, of course.
Okay, you said that the events are being held in the Golden Hole.
Golden Hole.
So
yes.
how you manage it? It's of course it's an architecture and it's a historical place, and it's how do you manage to preserve the place from people?
We manage it by be here at the time of holding parties. It's too hard for the curators to be to all the day working, because you have to take care about the whole. This thing, and also after the ending of the conference or a wedding or whatever, what's holding on the palace, the restoration department come and see what's happening in the. They have to be at the time of the conference of the wedding, and after this they came to the Golden Hall and see what's happening, if we need an restoration, if we don't need. But most of the people who come to hold parties here, they understand. They understand, because they are most of them are most of them are actually they are understand the place and the Islamic place to hold it a party, so they take care about them. Most of them are VIPs and take care about the Golden Hall actually.
Yeah.
Hadeel Adel, Q curator. Of course, we thank you so much for joining us in our program Nile Cruise, and for giving us and enriching us with, of course, great information about this amazing place, which is the Manial Palace. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Dear viewers, this was this segment of Nile Cruise, telling you more about and bringing you more about the Manial Palace. We're going to be spending all the episodes about the Manial Palace. Stay with us and don't go away. We'll be back again.